feel this way, and it's kind of strange. Don't even know your name. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. You say that you're from out of town.
Tonight, we're going to discuss, is your partner wanting you to be something that you weren't when you first met? Let's find out. Hit it. Welcome to this week's Ask Jay. I'm Jayson Mair, your relationship coach, here to simplify the relationship struggles we have each and every day by asking your relationship questions. Thank you very much for joining us today, wherever you are, all over the world, morning, noon, or night. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for watching this, or even on the replay. Thank you very much for watching this week's episode of Ask Jay. And what a week it has been. Good, we've been getting some doozy questions from you guys, and each and every one of you for your support by sharing the videos, commenting, watching the replay, and putting comments, which I really deeply appreciate you all doing that. So thank you very much for doing that, because it means a lot. Because it means, even though when I'm finished, I'm still able to help a lot of you out there. So thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. Who have we got tonight? Already has jumped in to watch. Kenny, how are you? All pearls of wisdom, I hope. I'll try not to let you down, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Nice profile picture too. You might get a gig with Trump. He needs help. Ooh, okay. There's an update for those of you that may be watching what's going on in America right now. Yeah, there's some relationship issues going on there, isn't there? So, yeah, thanks for the update, Kenny. Good to see you. I hope you and everyone is going well at your end as well. I know it hasn't been an easy week, and it's not going to be for the next couple of weeks, but my hearts and prayers go out to you each and every time I wake up in the morning, buddy. I really do, because we love you, and I hope everything is going okay in the Robinson house. So, well, I want to thank to each for the dozen or so people that have emailed me this week, because we've had quite a few questions, and I've had a few already lined up over the last couple of weeks, and I'm trying to get, some of them are very similar. Like tonight's question is very similar to about 2 or 3. So I'm going to, the tips I'm going to give you on it is a little bit open, as in it works on this question, but it also works on a few other situations that some of you may be having as well. So let's hope that works. So, and by all means, have your input. If you're on, by all means, say hello. If you're on YouTube watching it, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so I can let you know when I'm coming on, and really appreciate that. If you have any of our videos and you like them and think, hey, I know someone who could do with this, by all means, tag them or share the video to them. The more the merrier. It's free advice I'm giving out, so you might as well use it and share it around the planet. So that's what we're here for. So, Marky Webby Webb, how are you? Thank you very much for joining me, Mark. It's so good to see you. Look at that. Isn't he such a lovable fellow? Look at him. Look at a big smile on his face. We got any girls in the house? Oh, hang on. Rosie D, hello. Thank you for watching, darling. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Kenny, thanks. 13-year-old Victoria is coping with chemo better than expected. Thanks for your support. So anyone, if you're a praying type out there, please send a prayer towards Kenny's family and young Vicky, who's she's had her struggles in the past and is doing it all over again. But that girl is a fighter. Seriously, she's inspirational. She's one of those people that, I think a dad knows this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Nothing gets her down. I think she's the youngest out of the family. Am I right, Kenny? And that girl is just kick ass. Really is. Doesn't let something like this bother her too much. So our prayers, the JMZ family prayers, will be all sent your way, and we're always on your side, buddy. Nikki, so good to see you, buddy. Thank you for tuning in. Long time no see. How have you been, bud? Good to see you on. So thank you. And there are a few others up there. I can see there's quite a few watching tonight that haven't said hello. Hello to you if you are there. Thank you for joining us. And what was that? Oh, they're very shy. Okay, fair enough. They're shy. They don't want to say hello. That's okay. Don't have to. I appreciate you joining us. So, yes, it's interesting times, as I said, in America with the elections, and there's a good dose of understanding relationships. Say one thing and do another. Yes. So, but that's luckily we're not here, so that's we're not having that issue as much. So it's good. We're not great with our politicians either. I mean, we change them quicker than we change our underwear. But hey, it's not as messy as some places. So we got to appreciate what we've got. Miss Linda, how you doing? Thank you very much for joining. So good to see you. Oh, Harley. I hope the new job's going well, Hars. It's so good to have you on. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you are helping those young students behave and do what they need to do for their teacher, and making the teacher's job a hell of a lot easier. So, Joanne, howdy. Thank you for joining. Another regular on the Ask Jay show. Thank you very much for all your input and joining and watching. Linda, thinking of you, Kenny, and your family, sending all our love. There you go. Some big hugs and kisses and prayers coming from the other side of the planet, Kenny, from the old UK, heading back over here. So, yes, for sure. Always keep us up to date with how young Victoria is going. And, yeah, tell us we're all thinking about her. That's for sure. So, anyway, let's get into tonight's question to start off with, because this one is a doozy. Well, I say that every week, don't I? You're like, oh, here he goes. It's another doozy. Well, it is. But anyway, we're going to get in there. It's probably not what you think. So let's get going. All right, here we go. I met my partner 2 years ago at a party and hooked up again at another one. And I've shortened this from the original email too, by the way. So they met at a party. Then they met again in another party. I don't want to make it sound like he's just hooking up all over. And they met again. And that's when the relationship started. They went home together and it started from there. Been together since for 18 months, but don't really get to see any of my friends anymore. I've treated her right, but miss my friends a lot. What can I do? Yes. Now, this is not a rare occurrence either. This is actually quite often what I sometimes like to call a renovator's delight. And the reason why I call it a renovator's delight, and well, and in your case, it's a slight one. Mr. Miss my friends, I called him, but I didn't put his name up there. We're going to call him MMF. There we go. Miss my friends. Yeah, because what happened was, just to give you a bit of background to it, he went to a friend's barbecue / party, was, doing what you do at a barbecue, chatting and having a couple of drinks, met this girl at this party, was introduced through a friend of theirs. They had a really good night. They parted ways because she was going somewhere with friends. He was staying the night at his mate's house. So that's where it went. And then they bumped into each other at a party, I think it was about 2.5 months later. And just like clockwork, as soon as they saw each other, bang, they just hit it off, and it went really well. And as the saying goes, they went home from there and continued on. Now, what has happened over the time is, obviously, we all get into relationships with partners, and we sometimes, not spend as much time with our friends and our family and so forth because we're building relationships or whatever we get up to in those relationships, if you know what I mean. Okay. So, and yeah, you get involved with the people, the person, and you get really, drawn in and everything else like that. But what happened here was that over time, she would always, when they were going to a friend's party, he's found out that over time that she didn't like him going to the party. So like a lot of the times they'd say, oh, Jimmy's having a barbecue party this weekend. We're going to go. And she's like, oh, yeah, I've got something on. Or, yeah, I don't really want to go. And then he brought it up. She brought it up and said, oh, I don't like you, spending time with his friends and going to this party. And he's like, oh, why? He's like, oh, well, it's, we're in a relationship now. And and he's like, oh, okay. Fair enough. So anyway, they go along, and this happened more and more to the point now that it's been 18 months, and he hasn't been to a friend's house for a party or drinks or even to drop in or anything for, I think he said about 11 months. So it's been nearly a year. And this came through from a state and also a country where they don't have the lockdowns. They're still behaving, but they don't have as many lockdowns, and they're able to do a little bit more. And this was going back, I think I got this email about a month and a half ago, but it was a really good one because it's come up in sessions that I've had recently with clients as well. So here he is, nearly a year later. He hasn't seen any friends. She doesn't like him going to friends. And it's got a little bit, he's very nice about it. He doesn't sort of go, oh, she stopped or anything. He just goes, she doesn't like it. So he does the right thing by not going. But now he's giving in to her, but he's losing all these friendships. And they're all ringing him going, well, we don't hear from you anymore. What are you up to? What's going on? Stuff like that. And that's where it becomes a bit of an issue. I mentioned before at the start about a renovator's delight. Now, what a renovator's delight is, and I'm not saying necessarily this is the case, what I class as a renovator's delight is when, and let me know if you know someone who's actually done this or knows of someone who's done this. I'll get to your questions very soon, guys. But it's, they meet someone somewhere out and they like them and they start dating them and everything else. But then after a while they go, oh, if I could get him to, chop that hair off, and it's him to her, her to him, her to her, him to him. It's no sex related. I hear this from both sides and all sexes. And what it is you'll see them and go, oh, I love him. But, if I can get him to trim that hair up, or I can get her to cut her hair and get a really short hair, maybe even, put some blonde streaks through it, or, get her hair dyed blonde. Yeah, it'd be good. Or he needs to whiten his teeth a little bit more, maybe get them fixed up because they're not as straight. And you're like, okay. And if you could just change, his clothes, he's wearing these pants where they're down, don't fit him, and the shirts are too big, or her shirts are too tight and make her look all buxom, and the boys like it, and I feel insecure about it and everything else. If we can get her to stop that. And then if I can get her to, wear different shoes, virtually what you're doing is you're seeing something you're like, I love it, great, I'm going to buy it. And you get it. But then you start changing it. You start remolding it. You start, oh, I don't like how he says this, or the way she says that, or that comment. I'll bring it up and make sure she doesn't say it again, or he doesn't say it again. To the point that 18, 24, 30 months later, the person doesn't look like anything like the person that they first met. And you've got to ask yourself, if that's not who you wanted, but this is who you wanted, why didn't you just go and find someone like this instead of finding someone like that and taking them to this? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, he might have great, or she might have great character, but just, what? It doesn't matter. Now, in this instance, she's met him at a party, at a friend's house. So she's seen him and his behavior at a party, not one, but two parties. So he's at this party. She's attracted to him. Because he's a bit of an outgoing guy. He's chatting to people and he's laughing and he's having a few drinks. Not obnoxiously, not rudely. He's a very level-headed guy, and he just loves being with his friends. And when those people who walk in a room and they just feed off their friends and family, they love it. They're like, and they're laughing and joking and everything else. So someone goes, "Wow, that's attractive." But then when you change him, is he anything like the guy you fell in love with? Because then when it turns pear-shaped, you're going to go, "Oh, I don't recognize him anymore. He's not the guy I fell in love with." I was like, well, I wonder why. He looked like this and he looks like this. And that's what happens. And that's what I call a renovator's delight. And I get sometimes that people do this in a point where when they do it because of they've struggled to find someone. And they go, well, I'm attracted to his personality. I'm not attracted to some of his things, but I'll go and approach him. Oh, I really like him. Okay, well, and sometimes they don't even think, okay, as soon as I see him, I can get him and then get him to change. It just seems to be this slow transition. Now, we did talk about narcissists a couple of weeks ago, and it's sometimes when they kept from friends, that is a narcissistic behavior. Doesn't mean you're a narcissist, but it is a narcissistic behavior because they're pulling you away from friends. But in this instance, she's not I see no signs of her being a narcissist in any way, shape, or form. She's done one or two things, but she's not, it's one or two narcissistic traits, but it doesn't mean she's a narcissist. So it's not that case. So before I get into the tips, let's just say, check on a few people and see what's happening. We've seen that one. Yes, absolutely. They won't misbehave with me around. Yes, because Harley's just started a new job. She's a teacher aide at a school in Melbourne. She did a course early, I think it was late last year, Harley, early this year, and wanted to do this job. And then COVID hit and she hasn't had any work. She's been stuck at home, hasn't even put her talents to the world to see how good she is. So she finally got a job a few weeks ago. And if some of you who know me quite well would know Young River through the Big Brother, Big Sister program, Harley's Young River's sister. And I say young, but he's 18 and Harley, now you're 21. So they're not as young as they used to be, sort of thing. So thanks. We are looking at 8 weeks of chemo. Yeah, that's with young Victoria. She's a kick-ass girl, dude. She'll get through it. We all have our faith in her. Isabel, how are you? Thank you for joining us. So good to see you. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Paul's in the house, just jumping in to say hi. Have a great show. You're a busy man, Paul. You're a busy man. I know you're go. If you're into arts and crafts, check that guy out. Scissors, Papers, Paul. Great craftsman stuff. It's got a great show as well if you're checking that out, if that's something that you're into as well. So, Joanne, she doesn't like him seeing his friends. Have they had an honest conversation about this? This is a controlling behavior that needs to be addressed. Show's done. I'm done. I can go now. It's all been answered. You're right, Joe. You're right. And you'll see, we're going to get to that very soon. So don't worry at all. Sounds like your friend needs a book on healthy boundaries. Yeah, exactly. Definitely, Kenny, definitely. So let's get into the tips. And with further ado, tip number 1, there it is. Is there any trust issues within the relationship? Have you asked? Now, usually when someone does this, it's easy to say, this needs to be boundaries put in and, she's controlling and whatever else. But we need to find out what's behind it. I mean, the easiest answer is just to say, well, she's a freak. Let's, go away. But he actually really loves this girl. He's actually been with her, like I said, 18 months. They have a great connection. They get along really well. But it just is this one thing that's driving him nuts. And when he reached out, because I know this guy, he worked here in Australia quite a few years ago and then went overseas. And they've been living over, he met her overseas and been living there since. And he said to me, he just said, I don't get it. What do I do? So we talked about it and worked with it and sort of thing, and been helping him out. But this is something that's very relatable to a lot of people because of, what's been happening, sort of thing. So anyway, as I said, is there any trust issues? Have you asked us? So first thing first, you need to have a bit of, you need to find out what's behind this. What is it? Is it about his friends? Is it about his behavior? Is it because she doesn't like parties, even though you met her at not one, but 2 parties? So, mind you, he did say to me, she heard he was going, so she did go to the second party to meet him because her friend went, well, blah, blah is going to be there. And she's like, okay. So she liked him, but she went anyway. So that's fine. But when this happens, you've got to find out what it is. Is it the trust in him? Is there something that he has done? Now, he does say in his email, which I briefly touched on, that, he's, doing, I'll get rid of that one for a sec. That, he's been treated her right and he loves her and he cares for her, but he also, he misses those friends, sort of thing. And that's, that's a bit unfair for him to sort of, miss out on those, miss out on friends because that's what she's after, sort of thing. And she doesn't like the friends. So that becomes a bit of an issue. But you've also got to sort of say, well, one, is it trust in him? Has he done anything to give her mistrust? 2, is it mistrust, lack of trust in not just him, but in maybe men or in a partner in general? Because sometimes people bring mistrust or do not trust very well from past relationships. So when they come into a new relationship, they have that thing, oh, he's done this. He's like the last person. He's going to do this to me. He's going to do that to me. Well, I'm going to have to, say, no, I've got to get this. Because if we want to talk about boundaries, she's probably putting boundaries in going, well, I don't trust him, so I don't want him going to parties. There's my boundary. We can be together, but you can't go to parties. And if that is the case, you've still got to ask why. And this is where, having a conversation with her and asking about it, and just, it doesn't have to be, look, I need to know why you won't let me go to parties. But it's like all my conversations I recommend to you guys and girls is pick the time. You might be driving along, down to groceries, going for a walk or something. You go, help me understand, if you don't mind me, if I can ask, what is it about me going to these parties? They're like, oh, I don't know. Well, is it me? Do you trust me? Do you not trust me? And not just listen to what they say, listen what they don't say. Because sometimes, especially when you say, is it me? They go, oh, no. A lot of my clients have said to me, oh, well, they don't not trust me. They trust me. They don't trust all the people, the women out there, or the guys out there that are going to crack on to their partner. And it's like, you can have as many guys or girls crack onto your partner while they're out. They're not going to get anywhere unless your partner allows them. She could just turn around and go, talk to the hand dude, I'm taken, don't need anyone bothering me, or whatever. He could do the same thing. He could get talking to a girl and just go, I've been out when I've had a partner and they've said, oh, have you got a partner? I'm like, yes. And is she here? No, she's at home because she works early in the morning and I'm out with these friends for a friend's party and stuff like that. Are you single? No, I'm with someone. And that night when that happened, I did have a single mate. She had a single mate and she was asking because she was trying to hook a friend up. And we're like, oh, great, let's get into this and let's try and get each of our single friends to hook them up. So it was a great idea. So not all women and not all men, not all sexes want to have sex with everyone they talk to. Sometimes they just want to talk because they want to talk. So, so that's why you've got to ask, is it the trust? Because if they say they don't trust the others, they still are really saying indirectly they don't trust you. And the other thing is, does she not trust you because you met at a party? And this, as he said to me when we first spoke about it, is quite possibly the reason why She has an issue because they met at parties and she's seen him at a party, seen him twice at a party. But at the same time, that's what when they had this conversation, that was what she loved about him. He was so lively and everything else. And she's saying, oh, he doesn't do much anymore. He doesn't do much because he can't go out, because he's afraid if he goes out, she's going to make, and she doesn't stop him. And I'll explain a little bit more about this. She doesn't stop him from going out. She just makes it very difficult. Now, we all know that people, not saying women, not saying men, not saying no gender or sex, is stronger than another one. But there are ways. It's like, oh, yeah, sure. Go to the party. Are you saying I can go to the party, or are you saying go to the party, but I'm going to be really pissed about it? See what I mean? You've got to stop the mixed messages, people. If there is an issue, talk about it. Yeah, open up. Don't be afraid to talk about it, because, hey, you talked to him when you first met him. You met him at a party. You met him at 2 parties. So when I say the trust, was he crack on other people? No. Is there any reason to think he's going to crack on other people? No. Again, then it comes back to insecurities. Comes back to what it is that she is struggling with. And that's where talking about it, but talking about it very calmly and very supportively, because it might be something that's really triggered her or something that she's really struggling with. And you just go, oh, I don't know. You don't want to say the wrong thing. You want to allow her to be able to open up and talk to you and not feel like you're going to judge her or go, oh, don't be freaking stupid. Really? I mean, I touched her arm. I didn't stick my, anyway. You know what I'm talking about. So see what you guys are having to say about it, because it's all about, I want to hear what you guys have to say also. Let's get rid of that banner for a sec so you can see. Sounds like your friend needs a book on self boundaries. Yes. Bless you all, Ken. I can't even begin to imagine what you're going through. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. There you go, Kenny. Thank you, Linda, for sharing those and saying that. I know personally, talking to Kenny, he really appreciates that, especially coming from the other side of the world. So thank you. Joe, insecurities. There you go. Past issues in her life that involve trust, possibly with past boyfriends or her own family, or some of those friends may be female and it doesn't make her feel comfortable. That is the other thing. When your partner has friends of the opposite sex, how many? And is that the issue? Which is a very good point, Joe, which I was going to get to next, but I'm going to address it right now because you brought it up. So thank you for bringing that up for sure. Because see, myself, for example, I have as many, if not more, female friends than male friends. No, it's not because I like to keep them around to sleep with them or everything like that. Yes, there are a lot of them that are ex-partners. But then we've moved on. They're all married. They're all got partners and that. Some of them have even got kids and stuff. We're great friends because we were better at friends than we were as a relation in a coupled relationship. And if someone was ever to say to me, look, I feel really uncomfortable about those friends. Don't you want you? Sorry. One thing I will say right now, and this is where people need to get a bit clearer and understand that for me, for example, and I say this to all of my clients, your friends and family, whoever they are, they were there before this relationship. And most likely, if you treat them right, they'll be there after the relationship if it were to end that way. So you should never put a love interest over your family and friends, especially friends. And when I say family, if most of you know me pretty well, that, family is who I choose to have in my life. That's who I class as family. So yes, some of them are people there's not many that I'm related to that I class as family anymore, but they're the people that I allow in my life. They're the people that I call family and I can't live without. And no one, no matter how much I love them, are going to get in the way of that. because they're part of the reason why I'm who I am. And it's the same with Mr. MMF, is it was part of who he was. He always went to these parties because a mate of his used to have these barbecues all the time and needed help sometimes to help as well. You know, not going to go into details why, but, you know, he'd always support that friend sort of thing. So there is that case as well. Yes. Tip number 2. History of how you met ever happened before with others. What I mean by that is, has there been history of what if you find out what it is that she has an issue with, has there been any history of you doing that which could affect how she feels about you? Meaning, she might have known about you before the first time she met you, or once she met you, someone said, "Oh yeah, that's I don't know, Roger," and that's not his name either, because who calls a kid Roger these days? Anyway, no offense to any Rogers out there. All right, just had to pick a name. It could have been Nigel. I don't know. Anyway, oh yeah, we'll use Nigel. That's Nigel. Yeah, he's always at parties and he's always hitting on different girls and everything else. Oh, really? So then she meets him and then they start something, and then she's worried about the history she's heard about Nigel when he's gone to the parties, and that could be it. It's finding out if that's not it. You need to find out if it is or isn't, or what people have been saying. Because sometimes people will talk about you and they might be of that same sexual orientation as your partner and might be saying, "Oh yeah, be careful of him because, you know, I've seen him at parties and stuff like that." Now, I've heard people who do that, and there have been people that have also liked him. He didn't like them, as in he didn't want to start anything with them, and they got jealous. So then what they would say is, "Oh, don't go talking to him. Oh yeah, no, he flirts with all the girls, you know, he's been doing that for years, you know, he flirts with them, then he sleeps with them, and then he moves on to the next one, and he sleeps with them, moves on, you know, false bullshit. Seriously, just because someone's not happy that they weren't with the person, they're then going to talk badly about that person to ruin it for everyone else. And then she's basing it on that decision, going, "Well, yeah, I heard that." And he'd be like, "What are you talking about? Go to Jimmy's house all the time. I hardly ever speak to any of the girls. You know, I speak to the people I know are friends, but, you know, I'm not interested," sort of thing. And she'll go, "Well, why were you interested in me?" "Well, I don't know. We connected. But did I sleep with you the first time? No. Did I take you home the first time? No. Could have, but I didn't." So you've got to look at, you know, just check to make sure there's no history going on with that as well, that it could be. Excuse me, I just need some water because I've been drinking a lot. I'm going to hopefully mute the microphone. Hopefully that muted. Hopefully not. If it didn't, I'm sorry if you heard me drinking all that anyway. But yeah, by all means, let us know what you think as well. Joe's doing a great job of that. Drop it in some comments. If you guys are watching, by all means, drop a comment in as well. As we have another Isabel. Izzy, how are you? She's responsible for this mop on the head. That's looking a lot better than it was a month or two ago. So thank you for joining. I hope you are well. I bet you've been busy cutting hair and getting all the guys and girls looking as fantastic as always. So thank you very much for joining us, Isabel. Yes, so as I was saying, then we get on to, we got one more comment. What's Kenny got to say? If you are secure, choosing family and friends first is the easiest choice. But what if you're insecure? Maybe you have had a partner who cheated on you. What do you do then to handle your fears? Any suggestions? It is a very good question, Kenny. I'm just thinking. Give me a moment. Look, if you're If your partner's already cheated on you, that's a different story to what we're talking about tonight, but I will address it. No matter what that partner says, you gotta watch your actions. They may be sorry. Unfortunately, I'm going to say something that some people will disagree with, and I don't mind if you agree or disagree. That's what the show's about. Some things I'm going to say you're going to agree with, some you're not. But a lot of the times when someone's sorry for cheating, they're not sorry for cheating. They're sorry they got caught. End of story. And there are a small percentage of people who are sorry they have cheated. And then you've got to ask the question, why? Which is a big thing as well. And that's also becomes a struggle. So if they cheated on you and then you go back to them or you stay with them and you're like, okay, make it work out, you need to be very, very clear that, what is it? Fool me once, more fool me twice, more fool you. Something like that. Brain's not working. See, I think about what I'm going to talk about tonight, and then when I throw other things in, it throws me off. See what you're doing, Kenny? You're throwing me off. No, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. So, yeah, you really need to be, Joe mentioned before about boundaries. I think it was Joanne that said that. You really need to, I think Kenny might have said it. You really need to be very clear on your boundaries if you're going to take someone back who's cheated on you. Very friggin' clear on your boundaries. All I'm going to say. If you're going to take someone back who cheated on you, they want to jump hoops, they want to do backflips, they want to, and because whatever this says makes no shit of difference. It comes down to what they do. Because if they've done it, why? Done it once. They may or may not do it again. Who knows? The majority do. There's a very small minority who don't. But there's a majority, and it's not all men. Women do it. All sorts of people do it. Actually, in my experience, I think it's probably just as many. Yeah, it's pretty close to just cheated on their partner as much as men have. Might be the partner they're working with, that they're with when I'm working with them, but they have said they've done that before. It's quite amazing how many have done it. Actually, I get blown away. Usually in the younger years, it happens. If it happens in their older years, there's something more behind it, and that's what you've sort of got to take in mind. But if they've cheated on you, you've got to then set some clear boundaries about what you want from them, what you're going to do about it, and what you're going to accept and not accept. And even if you have to be very, very clear and strict and say, hey, right now, I don't trust you going to the parties. I don't trust you going here or there because you've done it. And I've caught you, but I don't know how many other times it's happened because you don't know. Unless they admit how long they've been doing it or how many times they do it, they're not going to go, oh, yeah, I've cheated on you 5 or 6 times when they have. They're just going to go, no, it was the only time, love, only time. Well, really? That's why you've just got to be very clear. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and say, no, not going to put up with that. You will not do that. You've done it once, not getting a second chance. Even find slightly you're doing it. There's the door. Make sure it doesn't hit you too hard in the ass when you walk out here. Okay? It's got to be clear. I'm a big believer on that. So Jay is stumped first time for everything. No, I had to think. See, because when I'm working with someone, I need to listen to them and I need to process it because I want to come out with the right information and not say the thing the wrong way. And that's why when you get me on the spot like that, it does take me a couple of moments to think about it, Kenny. But thank you. Good question, though, buddy. Appreciate it, Joe. Ken, do you mean a past partner who cheated, not the current one? Yeah, good point. Good point. As Kenny said, I wasn't thinking current partner has cheated. I was thinking of the person who has had bad experience with past partner that has set them up with a fear of being cheated on again. Well, yeah, that's exactly right. And that's where, when you go back, when I went back to giving you the tips about tip 1, it's about getting clear on why your partner is feeling that way. Because if they're bringing in, I did touch on it, if they are bringing in insecurities from past relationships, there needs to be some serious work needs to be done there and then. Because what happens is, let me put it this way. If you were someone who was insecure and you wanted to look through your partner's phone, no matter how innocent, how truthful, how loyal your partner is, if you're insecure and you look through your partner's cell phone and you talk to your partner's cell phone, you are going to find a message that you're not going to be happy about. And you know why I say that is because there are some messages that people will talk about when, talk in a conversation, and it has absolutely nothing to do about their relationship, or it has nothing to do what you think it is. But if you're insecure, you will take a simple message out of someone's phone, out of your partner's phone, and go, they're freaking cheating on me. They said this. They said that. I went through. I saw it. But you have no idea. That could be something about work. It could be a work colleague. It could be a conversation they started at work and they come through. I tell you now, the amount of times I've got someone to check a phone, and I've even given them my phone and go, all right, just say you and I together, I've cheated on you. Look at the last 10 messages I've sent. 3 of them, between 3 and 5 messages, they have gone, yeah. And I'll go, right out, and I'll give you an example. So then I would look at the message and I would give the definition of the message, and the look on their face would be like, oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Okay. They need to know. It's like if you buy a blue car and all of a sudden you see the same blue car everywhere, you're going to see what you're focused on. So, and what happens is, if you're in a relationship and you're bringing past insecurities into this current relationship, it's going to do more damage before it is going to kill the relationship before the relationship even has a chance of growing. It might look like on the outside that it's killing it, but on the inside, there are so many questions going on between your partner going, why is she like this? Why is he being like this? What have I done? Because straight away they think, well, is it something I've done? Did I do something about it? Something wrong to make her think that way? Because you think, why else would she act that way? Or why else would he act that way? Or they would act that way. So if it comes to a past partner or partners cheating, tip number 3, speak it out with her or seek some outside help. Get yourself a coach like myself. And the reason, and it's not self-promotion, but I'll self-promote. The reason being is you want someone who's unbiased. You don't want someone that knows either of you, like, oh, he's a mate of mine or she's a friend of mine or whatever else. Because the other person's going to go, well, of course he's going to take her side because he's a friend of hers. You want someone that is not emotionally connected to you to help you. Because even like with my coaching sessions, if he did, when they come to me, what I ended up doing was I spoke with him for 45 minutes. Then she came on the screen, spoke to her for 45 minutes, because I want to get to know that person. Then I bring it in and we talk about what we've discovered in each of the chats. I talk about the combination of things, and I need to get an understanding of where it's coming from for her, or where it's coming from him, or whoever the person is. We need to know. And then we need to work on that. And the only way you can build trust is solid foundations, solid steps, and being clear on what it is not only you want, but you expect from the other person. You don't have to say, I expect you to ring me every half hour when you're out and check in. I'm on the toilet right now. I'm now ordering my meal. I've now just stubbed my toe, and now I'm patching up the blood in my shoe. No. But you still need to say, just, you're going out. I'm going out with Jimmy and the boys on Friday night. We're going to go into the city, hang out at a few drinks, have a few bars, go see a band, and then we're going to come home. Something like that. Or we're just going out with Jimmy. You've got to build trust. Trust is massive. If someone doesn't have trust, and if someone has got issues, past relationships, every little thing that is going to pop up for them, that's going to trigger them, will be something you do because their ex did it, or did something very similar to what that is. And it doesn't matter, no matter what you say to them to try and get them to believe you, they're not going to believe you, because they've got it in their head that you're like every other dude that I've slept with. You're like every other chick that I've been with. You're all the same. You all say you're not going to cheat, but you're doing this and you're doing that and you're doing this and blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't work. It's got to come down to trust, and trust is only built on actions. It's built on repetition, and it's built on having faith. And also, and to get to that, you need a clear understanding of where it's coming from and how to do it. And either both you need to come and see me, or one of you that needs to come and see us. And it's usually the one that has the insecurities and has been cheated on before. I'd prefer to see both of you, because I'd like to, get to know both of you, and then it makes it easier for me to work with the one that has the insecurities. But at the same time, it takes two to make a relationship work. And if both of you are not willing to do something about it, one can rock up, but if it's not the one that has the issues, that person needs to work through it as well. So there are multiple things. So you've opened a can of worms now, Kenny, by bringing this question up. But it is a good question. It is a very good question, and it's relatable to this, because they're living in a country where there's a lot of good-looking women, and it was because her ex actually had come from a similar country and had cheated on her multiple times, and then she left him. It was with another guy. Was with him for about a year or so. It didn't work out. We now realize that it didn't work out because she had trust issues with him, even though he had no reason to make her to mistrust him whatsoever. But it had been hanging on. So then they come in together in this relationship, and it's following on. So until it's done, but she's doing fantastic. It's doing really, really good stuff at the moment. They're really helping each other out. So, oops, I'll get that out of the way. Yes. As per what Kenny said, how do you learn to trust again? Maybe it just takes time and personal growth. Well, exactly. And I hope what I just said, Joe, clears that up for you and makes it a little bit easier for you as well. You need a sounding board, a reality check, which is why I can see people seeking your help, Jay. You can help people work out whether they are dealing with truth or fear. I'm going to get myself an alarm. I need to get myself an alarm, because I think that's the comment of the night. Just saying. Truth or fear. Because that pretty much narrows it down. Because to give you a bit of an understanding, out of all the things we do in the world, all the things the decisions we make, the things we do, comes down to only love or fear. And to love, you need to be able to trust them. So we either do it because we fear something, or we do it because we love something, or we want love of something. We don't want fear. Everything comes down to two things: love and fear. As Kenny says, truth and fear. For real love, you need to be truthful, right? So, comment of the night goes to Kenny Robinson. Well done, buddy. Big thumbs up from Joe. Joe's got you. She's down with you, down, Ken. Doing well. So yeah, as I was saying with that last comment, that last tip is, as I said, you've got to speak it out with her. You got to seek some outside. If it's not me, see somebody else or see a psychologist. Psychiatrist, you don't think you need to go there because just a difference between a psychologist and psychiatrist. Psychologists you can talk to. Psychiatrists can prescribe certain drugs where psychologists can recommend, but they can't prescribe drugs. So talking out with a psychologist, talking out with your doctor. I'm not a big fan of talking it out with friends and family because they are going to have a biased side of things. They're going to go, well, yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Joe, just don't let him because, oh man, they're all thinking with their, they're all thinking between their legs and you got to be careful. Oh yeah. Hey, Dave, don't let her, she's probably a floozy and she's just projecting her stuff onto you and stuff. You can't have that. That's where shit goes down. Pardon the language. That's where things just don't go right. When stuff people that are trying to support you and are trying to say the right things to make you feel well, but in a way they're doing you damage because they could be supporting you in the wrong way and making you think what you're thinking is right when you really need to actually do some work. And if someone's going, no, you don't need to do some work. You're fantastic. He's a freaking psycho. Look at him. Thinks he's all that because he's a pretty boy. And that friend might have been someone that he didn't go out with once. Or she's jealous. I was talking to a client recently and she would say that she's got friends. And when she's with a partner, the friends get all jealous because the two of them are single and they want her to be single. So when she meets someone, they're like, oh, what's he like? Is he a douchebag? Where's he from? Oh, why would you want to go with a guy from there? What's that about and stuff? Because they know that if you get with this guy, you're not going to hang out with them as the two or three or single girls or single guys. And they're just going to go, they're going to want to, in a way, in a self-sabotaging way that they're trying to sabotage you on a subconscious level because they don't want to lose you as a friend. Maybe you're the sort of person who gets into a relationship and you get so deep into the relationship that you don't talk to anyone else. Like Mr. MMF, he loves his friends. He wants to see his friends, but he can't. But there's others that go so deep into a relationship. It's just you and me. Just you and me. No, there's no one else here. No, there's no one. Just you and me. All right. Sad part is, you ever had a friend like they're around and all of a sudden you don't see them for like 2 friggin' years. And you want to send a search party out because they're just not responding to messages or they're not calling back. And you're like, what's going on there? Oh, I was dating this girl for, the last 2 years, but it didn't go well. Dude, how about your friends? Oh, well, I got busy and stuff. Yeah, you get life busy. You get your priorities right. Your friends, your family, the people that loved you the most, the people that got you to be that type of person and get you so damn attractive to the opposite sex or to the same sex, to because I don't want to eliminate people here. Sorry about that. To make you so damn attractive to another partner. You're not attractive to someone because of all of you. You're attractive because you've become who you are right there and then. At that moment, they see you and go, wow, she's beautiful. Look at her, the way she holds a room. Look at the way he just stands there and everyone's listening to him. Look at that laugh. Now, these people can be very big people. They can be short people, tall people, short people, skinny people, fat people. Doesn't matter. If they've got confidence, it's attractive. The reason why they've got confidence, they've got damn good friends and family around them that helps them build their confidence, that makes them feel as confident and feel as good about themselves. If they've got friends going, oh man, you just keep attracting all the dumb shits all the time. Look at this guy. What's he do? Sit on his couch playing PlayStation all day? How are you going to feel good if you've got friends telling you that you keep attracting all the dumb shits? You going to feel good about yourself? I don't think so. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope Mr. MMF is watching, and I know he'll be watching the replay because of the time difference where he is, and his partner, who are doing fantastic. As I said, it was about, well, actually, I said a month and a half ago. It was about 2.5, nearly 3 months ago. We are doing fantastic things. They've really, really got an understanding of where it was coming from. And yes, there was cheating on her side of things quite a few years ago. He hasn't done it because she tells him not to. He's done it to support her because he doesn't want her to think that way. But at the same time, he's giving a false sense of securities that when he eventually snaps and goes, I do want to go out with my friends because it's my friend's birthday or something like that, she's going to lose her shit. But she's not. She's doing fantastic. That's what I do. I'm not taking all the credit. They do all the work, but I'm here to guide them through that, help them that. So if this helps you, share this video. By all means, let people know. We got going on here. Well, let's get rid of that tip before we go. You would hope that not that as people get older, they get wiser and try not to sabotage your friends' relationships. You would think that, Joe. You really would think that. But sadly, I know people in their 40s and 50s that are doing that still. Because as they get older, they don't have as many successful relationships, or they've given up on relationships, and they're like, oh no, I'm going to be single, and I'm going to hang out with Joe, or I'm going to hang out with Lisa, or I'm going to hang out with Denny, and we're just going to be the 3 single girls, and we all the 3 single guys, and we're just going to go out, and we're going to do stuff, and hang out, and go for walks, and everything else, and we're going to be the 3 amigos, and we'll just, we'll grow old together as their best friends, we might even get a house together and stuff. But sadly, that doesn't happen. And if you think that's going to happen, it's a lovely thing. But, maybe there's a person there who deserves to be loved and someone finds them attractive, but they're like, oh, well, and the other person's like, yeah, you need to stay away from me. I don't trust you. You're not good enough for our friend and stuff like that. It happens. I know, actually, I had a client that told me this, and she was 62. And she had friends between 60, I think the oldest was 64. The other 2 were in their late 50s. And they were doing that to her. This was going about 8 years ago. Yeah, that's age doesn't matter sometimes when it comes to that. Because again, love or fear. They love their friend, but they fear not having them around anymore if they get into a relationship. And then if they get into a relationship with a guy, what's it say about them? It makes them feel worse that, well, she got a guy, but I can't get a guy. So now it's just the 2 of us. Oh, and it's no fun. And then it's just the one of them, and they feel left out. But the friend invites them in and makes them a part of their life and stuff. But they've also had to say, don't do anything to ruin this, because her friend had a knack of doing that. She'd meet guys and then she'd tell them stuff to put her off being with a friend. So doesn't matter what age, it happens. Kenny, people haven't encountered, but on the life matters that count the most. They put off seeking relationship help. We all know that relationship horrors cost more, so get help before it's too late. I would rather seek relationship advice than suffer a painful breakup. My friend, I love you, man. When I'm up in Sydney next, I'm coming to give you've got a big bag of hugs with your name on it, dude. Seriously. you need them too right now. I think so. So I'm sending you a big hug right now, but that is very true. We go to we start to put on weight. We go to the gym, we work out for a couple of weeks. You don't go once and go, well, I've lifted 100 kilos. I'm now going to be able to lift 100 kilos. No, you've got to work on it. You've got to do the little things, So if you're in a relationship, you're watching this, you're in a relationship and you've got a little question, a big question, something that's niggling away. As you can tell, I don't use real names. And I also ask if I can actually elaborate a little bit more on the email. There's some emails I don't because it gives away too much detail. These guys don't even live in Australia. Where they are overseas, they're not afraid. If anything, they want to help others through their story. And that's another thing. I get a lot of questions, but then some of them only want me to answer the questions directly and not on camera. Sometimes I will answer it on camera, but I will change a lot of the story because I need to protect them so they don't get an idea that, that I'm talking about them, because no one knows who I'm talking about. You guys know anyone like I've just talked about tonight? Because if you do, I tell you now, they don't know any of the people that have been watching tonight. So, yeah. But by all means, you need some help. Don't be afraid to ask. That's what I do. That's what I've always done for years. So anyway, we're going to wrap up as we usually do. If we're going to listen to me, let's listen to someone who's a lot wiser than me, and that would be the old cat in the hat, Dr. Seuss. And here he is with tonight's Seussisms, which is coming from called All the Power of Song. The chief Yokaru. What have I put there? Oh, the chief Yukaru had sent them to meet me, along with the right side up song girls to greet me. They sang, "Oh, he faithful, believe in thy butter," and then lifted my spirits right up, out of the gutter. I read that like 5 times tonight, and do you think I could get it right? And do you think I would have noticed the spelling mistake in it? No. Read it perfectly. Then I go to read it now, and anyway, it comes from the book. I can't read it on that screen. The book, hang on a second. I got the book right here. Let me just have a look because I can't remember the story it came from. Which page was that? Because I just randomly picked these. But it actually is a good, here it is, from the Butter Battle book. There we go. If you like your Dr. Seussisms, I hope that, adds a little bit of cheer. But it's good because it goes to show sometimes when you're having those little struggles, sometimes you just want a good song to crank up and have a listen, and it just lifts your spirits, as they said, right out of the gutter. Isn't music wonderful? Doesn't music tell some amazing stories? You can hear a song and go, that song reminds me when I was about 19 and I was dating this girl or guy and we were doing this and this happened and we're out at a roller skating rink or we were doing this. It takes you to a moment in time. So brilliant. Some people have written some of the greatest songs in their darkest, saddest times of their life. Some have written them in their greatest times of their life. But it seems to be more than not, it's the saddest and the darkest times where some of the greatest songs, some of the greatest movies have been written. So, sometimes you just need to put on a tune and crank it up and just let it go. So, thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for watching tonight. I appreciate it. Love all your comments. Love you all jumping in. And like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, by all means, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when we're on. Tell your friends to subscribe. I'm trying to get YouTube up a bit. A lot of you guys are on Facebook, so I appreciate Facebook. And if you haven't loved the page, share the page, tag people in the video, share the video, get it out there. No, I don't make any money from it. I'm just doing that, like sharing out the videos. Do what you want. But I'm here to help, guys and girls. That's what it's about. I just want, the best for everyone. I want to make sure everyone has a better relationship. The Spellos show you are real, like the rest of us. Keep helping people, Jay. They need it. Thank you, buddy. Thank you very, very much. Isabel, really enjoyed it. Thank you. Oh, thank you for spending an hour, because Isabel, you are one of the hardest working women on the planet. You guys want to see good design. If you're into design, into sewing, anything like that, look up that name. Isabel Randall. Look her up on Instagram. Look her up on Facebook. That girl has some of the best designs, especially when it comes to, what do they call it? Bespoke. Amazing designs, dresses, suits, whatever. Check her out on Instagram. Fantastic. The girl knows her stuff. I tell you right now, you will not be disappointed. She's putting some really good videos up on Instagram right now, Instagram stories, and showing little tricks and designs and stuff like that on how to improve if you're trying to make, create a really good design, or you're not quite sure how they do designs. Check her out. Thank you for watching, Isabella. Really appreciate it, because you're a busy girl. I don't know how you fit it in. It must be late there, I would say. It's late here. So no, it must be, unless it's really late. I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to ask Google. But anyway, thank you to each and every one of you that have been watching tonight. I love the input. You guys are fantastic, because you've brought up some really good points, especially Kenny, especially Joe. A lot of you have brought up some fantastic points. It's really good, and I appreciate that. Thanks to an interesting topic. It is. And these are the things that we like to bring up, because a lot of people are like, I don't want to ask that. It's not a big deal, but it is. Because the little things like this can create a massive, massive stuff up to your relationship down the track. And you don't need that. If we can get onto that early and get an understanding of why it's happening, man, anything can happen. So thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you to all those who will watch a replay. I think a lot of those are going to be the ones in the old US of A, because a lot of you will be asleep right now and probably going to be waking up to finding out who's going to be running your country or not tomorrow. We don't know. But thank you to watching the replay. Put it in hashtag replay if you're in there. Share the video. Let everyone know. I'm here to help. Get your questions in. DM me at the socials, or email me at j@jasonmair.com. I'll be here to help. Until next Wednesday, we'll be back for another episode of Ask Jay and another doozy of a question. Or you can tune in same bat time, same bat station, but on a Sunday for Simplified Relationships, where we talk all sorts of relationship struggles and stuff in general. And we also like to try and have a guest. So if you want to be a guest and you want to talk about some relationship struggles, or you've got a story that could help others, DM me as well. And I'm sure to have you on the show, because I think it shouldn't just be about me. I want everyone to come on and talk about different struggles and different things they struggle with when it comes to relationships, to let everyone else know out there that it's not easy and they're not alone. So thank you very much for each and every one of you for watching. You're all been wonderful. Mwah! Thank you very much for being here. Until next Wednesday or next Sunday night, take care. Have a great rest of the week. And love you all. But love yourself first, all right? Bye.